Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Let's Kung Fu. I'm sure you've already noticed there's some changes. I've got my fancy new graphics. Tonight is going to be the test. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch over right now to another one of my fancy graphic setups. You can see I've got really cool bars here. Yeah, move my head up so you can see me. Yeah. I'm testing him out tonight. You'll see, everything's not quite lined up perfectly, but I'm working on it. So hopefully I'll get that figured out later. Tonight's episode is going to be pretty short. I'm really tired, and I have to be up at 4 in the morning to take my wife to the airport, and it's about 8:40 right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretty quickly take a look at a StarCraft 2 game that I played the other day that honestly was just kind of goofy and fun. Not a whole lot to it, but again, we test this out and make sure it all looks good. I'm still working on music. Hopefully I should have that in the next week or so. The next couple of episodes will happen at a different time. I'm going to be on the West Coast for next week's show. So yeah, that will probably happen around. Well, actually, I have no idea what time it's going to happen yet. It could be at the same time. It could be much later. I don't know. We'll figure it out while I'm out there. I'm going to be at a conference, so it depends when I get back from the city. Or I might just do it on a different day entirely. I may also do a show from MLG. I haven't decided yet. If I don't, then I'll just do another show after I get back on the 11th or 12th or sometime or another whenever I get home. So that's pretty much it for what's exciting from me. I know, I'm such an interesting person. Let's go ahead and jump into the game, and we'll just kind of go from there. I am hopefully showing you the game. Yes, alright, cool. You can see I've even got a cool new overlay to cover up my replay bar. Big props to Cameron for hooking me up with some sweet graphics. Anyway, here we go. Here's the game. It is a PvZ. You'll notice this is on my Smurf account, which means this is the account where I'm trying to do that Bronze to Masters crazy macro style build. This game did not actually wind up really playing that way due to some goofiness. You'll see pretty quickly. Slow this down to a more normal speed. I do want to give a shout out to Sketh here. Uh, Despite some really weird gameplay, he was, as you can see, he was a nice and friendly guy. I have not gotten to play a whole lot of StarCraft recently. Honestly, Diablo 3 has been taking up all of my time. I did finally beat it on Sunday with my monk on normal. And I'm now going back through it on Nightmare mode. But I don't know that I'm actually going to try to beat it again anytime soon on Nightmare. I might just jump back into StarCraft because I miss it. Now you can see actually I play this a little goofy. Usually against Zerg I will go straight, especially on a map like this, I'll go straight for my Forge Fast Expand. I've actually been having a lot of problems doing my normal Forge Fast Expand build against Zerg lately. I've just been getting stomped by Roachling all-ins, so this was my attempt at just normally playing it like I do against Terran, which I have a lot of success with. So yeah, I mean, not a whole lot to it. You can see at this point I'm killing him in the food count. This isn't even close. I'm not running through this on ×2 or 4 or 8 speed, simply because this is a pretty short game. I mean, you can see he's going straight for wings. I mean, this is such an all-in. He's not building workers. He's not putting guys in his gas. He's going straight for lots of wings, straight for a queen. He's just going to try to kill me. Now, thankfully, my probe got there in time to see this. So, I am going into emergency wall-off mode. It's actually pretty cool how this works out. I'm moving my zealots, or rallying my zealots into my mineral line, and basically trying to block off the entrances into my mineral line, trying to force his lings to run around the far away as much as possible, and minimize surface area where they can do damage to me. It works out reasonably well, as you'll see here. Yeah, I shouldn't have. Yeah, you'll notice I try to pull back with my zealots a lot, and I mostly just try to keep my gateways alive. This does set me back pretty largely, but I mean, you can see I'm still building probes while this is going on. He's doing nothing. He has no macro. And I'm just continuing to, build zealots, hacking them, building my forge. I'm trying to stay with my game plan as much as humanly possible. If nothing else, it'll be good for a cannon. And I mean, zealots are so good against zerglings. Look at this. I took out a ton of lings and lost nothing. I have lost 0. He has lost 8 lings. So, he's put guys in gas. He's finally getting zergling speed, but he's already in pretty big trouble at this point. Oops. I'm just now taking my gas. That kind of sucked for me. I didn't realize it, but I had enough zealots at this point that I could have just killed them. But I was still trying to macro as much as humanly possible. So you can see, I'm taking my expansion. I'm trying to recover and get back to normal gameplay. I'm trying to not get thrown off by early pressure. This was kind of bad. I wound up with a probe taking a very long way. I never bothered, I don't think, trying to reroute him. Yeah, I think he was expecting that I expanded down here. I don't know why he would have thought that, since I expanded here instead. I mean, it's my natural. It's what you would expect. I also suspect that he thought I was going to take a super fast expansion, which actually I was going to do, if not for his early ling play. Got +1 coming out. I'm really heavy on the zealots. I was actually kind of worried that he might throw down a spire and try to rush for mutas. I knew he couldn't possibly be ahead of me economically, but it's one of those things where when you're in the game, you're never really sure what your opponent's thinking or doing. So I said I was worried. I mean, again, I'm just flooding zealots. I had a lot of money built up. My macro did slip a little bit during that confrontation. And I just want to make sure that I have enough units to hold if he does, if he was going to follow it up with like a big roach push or anything. You notice here too, I just try to place my buildings as much as possible to protect my mineral line. Now, in a really long game, this would be a little bit annoying if I were trying to get my units out, do big pro transfers, but I do still have a gap, you can see there. And you can see, like, the pathing. It's ridiculous. I get crazy stuff happening here. So +1's about finished up. Got 2 more gateways going down. I'm finally starting to build some stalkers. Warp gate's almost done. I'm throwing down my Twilight Council. I'm getting back on the tech path. He's building a lair. He's getting his Evo chambers. He's starting to build some actual units again. I think it was kind of risky going as long as he did without it, and he's just finally seen my expansion. So my +1 attack is done. Armor is starting. We can throw down my Robo. I mean, again, this is exactly how I do my economic build, though I do generally do my robo before my... sometimes I do my robo before Twilight Council, it kind of depends. The gateways I don't generally do first, though. But again, I'm trying to get back to, yes, everything may be delayed, but I'm still, getting all of my stuff. 40 probes is actually really terrible. Why am I not building any probes? I haven't watched this replay since I played the game. I am very disappointed, though. There we go, back to probe production. Don't know why I stopped for as long as I did. And I mean, we'll see. When we get to the point where I push out, I'm gonna pause it for a second. We're gonna see if I kept my macro going and did probes right and all that. You can see, I'm getting charged. I think I've got 1-1 finished now. I'm starting to build some immortals. Notice actually my food lead has diminished quite a bit. That's not really shocking at this point in the game. Zerg can just produce so much stuff, it's really hard to stay ahead of them. In a normal game, if you hadn't done that early pressure, I would want to be expanding around this point. But I'm just not in a position to do it. I don't have the resources. I'm trying to keep army production going. I mean, a big roachling army, it can be really scary. He's getting his +1 armor. I'm getting my +2 attack, which is good. Means I'm still going to be ahead, especially with my upgrades. And again, I mean, you can see he's flooding units right now. Oh, wait, I'm actually attacking now. Let's go back and see. I'm at 51 probes, so I at least tried to keep up. I definitely slipped. I went for entirely too long without building probes for a while. Something I need to work on. It's kind of a crisis management thing. Your brain doesn't necessarily function in the way that you would want it to when you've got all that adrenaline flooding your system. The real key is just keep practicing it and practicing it and practicing it and making it automatic so that you don't need to think about it, so that no matter what, you always do it. But I mean, honestly, despite his very early pressure, I'm just gonna call it about 2 minutes behind. But I'm right around my food counts. I've got all my upgrades. My probe count is really the only thing that suffered. And even still, I'm 6 workers ahead of him. And I'm way ahead on upgrades, so my army is just going to crush this. Especially since I'm going to supply block him. Haha. I'm not really sure why he ran his units around quite that much. He probably could have just A-moved into me right off the bat. I wouldn't have gotten some of the free hits that I got, but I mean, I've lost really little here still. Ooh, 7 units. And my +2 is going to finish in a minute. I'm not sure why I pushed out as early as I did with +2 not finished. I really should have just waited for it. It was only, a little ways off, but at this point the game's really over. There's not a lot he can do. I mean, yeah, okay, he's trying to take, or he has taken his third, but there's nothing there. And there's not going to be. He's trying to pull workers. Which isn't a terrible move, but, I mean, yeah. With my upgrades, my army's too strong. I have too much production capacity. I don't have any forward pylons, which is terrible. I need to work on that. But I mean, you can see I'm continuing to build units, continuing to get upgrades. I'm working on ground level 3. I'm getting more gateways. I'm not expanding, which is what I really need to be doing. What does Day 9 always say? Expand behind your attacks. Especially since, I mean, I can afford it at this point. And I'm just going to walk up into his main, and the game's over, even the replay's about done at this point. he just doesn't have anything that's going to stop me. This one's kind of funny. I actually think my Immortal might succeed in killing off all these things. Look at that. Go, upgrades, go. Yeah, and he's going to GG out. Now I'm just curious again. Let's see. You'll notice even in the battle, even when I was pushing, I kept my pro production going. So I'm now up to 57, which on 2 bases is okay. It's not quite saturated or optimal, but I'm pretty close. You know, I'm floating a ton of gas. I think at the end, yeah, well, this is why I'm floating so much gas. I was just spamming zealots just to have units instead of spending it on stalkers or sentries like I should have been. It's not a huge deal, but I really should have been expanding, which is something that I will need to work on in the future. Yeah, that's it for the game that we're gonna look at. I'm gonna probably bounce back to me, and we're just gonna chat a little bit before I sign off for the night. I did say that this was gonna be a pretty short show tonight. There's actually a thunderstorm right now, so I might even lose power at any moment if you guys hear thunder in the background. That's what's going on. Next week is almost certainly going to be more StarCraft stuff. Since I'm going to be out in California, I might try to see if I can get Tristan, aka Mantra, to appear on the show with us. Most recently, he did do the Diablo 3 Streamathon with Day 9. He was the ace player for Palantir in the AHGL, and he is all around a baller, especially at StarCraft. Super cool guy. And while I'm at MLG, I might try to do something with some other AHGL people. We'll see how that works out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I'm hoping that I'll have theme music soon. I'm probably going to start introducing breaks, much like Day 9 does, probably every 20 to 30 minutes. I've discovered that talking for 30, 40 plus minutes at a time is really hard on the throat. I need a drink from time to time. So that would be a good way to do that. Also lets me, check on the chat, check on messages, things like that, especially when I don't have a dual monitor set up, as is the case right now, and as will be the case while I'm out in California. I'm going to keep pimping this out. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything at all, you can email me. It's feedback@letskungfu.com. Hopefully you can figure out how Let's Kung Fu works. It's not that hard. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I know it was kind of short. I apologize, but I need to sleep. And I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging for an entire week. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time. And let's see, can I make my transitions work? Ooh, look at that pretty screen. Alright guys, thanks a lot. See you later.